Hello and welcome to my Xbox and Me, episode 486, if Despawn hasn't stiffed me. I am one of your hosts, MC Fixer, alongside the one and only Mr. Paul Despawn. Hello.
Hello, I'm professional. I would never stiff you.
Just the two of us. We can make it if we try.
Just
It's the two of us.
Just
Me
the
and
two of
you.
us.
Because the other two are dead, even though I can confirm Matt P not dead. But we'll get to that a little bit later in the show. Despawn, how you been?
I've been good, man. I've been good. Busy with gaming for a change.
Congrats!
I know.
I wish I had been. I wish I had been.
I mean, it's a rarity though. I don't often get a chance to just sit down and game, and I 100% took advantage of it this weekend.
Respect it. I look forward to hearing about it in a moment. If you didn't know, this is My Xbox and Me, our weekly Xbox podcast, right here on youtube.com/My Xbox and Me, and of course, all podcast services. If you would like to support the show financially, and we really do implore that you do, patreon.com/MCFixer, or you can consider dropping a Twitch sub or a YouTube membership over on the MXAM channels. My Xbox and Me channels currently, actually. I don't think we've changed the URL for that yet. Other than that, we're podcasting. Oh no, I'm out of whack, Despawn. So as you know, I haven't been live on Twitch since Wednesday. Yeah. I've been at EGX/Comic-Con for the last 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
Within that, I haven't slept well at all, and I've been on my feet and walking around a lot and talking a lot. Okay. So I'm pretty burnt out. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I could really do without doing this podcast today, but as I don't want to miss a week, we're here.
486 weeks. Maybe even longer than
miss
that.
a week, baby.
I feel like we've done more podcasts.
It will be longer than that because you've got like E3 specials, you've got bonus interview episodes and stuff like that, which we used to do back in the day. But 486 weeks. We'll go with that. We'll go with that. Topic of the show this week: a little video game. You may have heard of it, maybe not. Not everyone's really heard of this one. But it's called Call of Duty Black Ops 6. I've been told that you've been playing it. Is that true?
That might be true. Yeah, that might be true.
Might be true.
I might have played it. Yeah.
Nice. Well, I haven't, unfortunately. It came out. Oh, that's what else I did. I went to the Call of Duty Black Ops 6 launch event.
Yep.
Well, technically, that's a lie. Technically, I have played it then. Because I played it at the event. I only played the multiplayer, but I played the... Okay. I did like a 2v2... there's like a 2v2 mode in it. Yeah, they did that. There was like a little tournament thing, so we did that. Absolutely destroyed the guy opposite me. It did, like they were trash. Yeah, it was me and this young lady, and we absolutely destroyed them. So yeah, technically I've played it, but you've been playing the thing that I'm actually very interested in, which is the campaign this year.
Yeah,
talk to me. How is it?
Just anyone worrying, this is going to be 100% spoiler free. To the best of my ability. But yeah, so I've always had a weird thing with Call of Duty campaigns. Like every now and again, you'll get a good one. More often than not, they're just a throwaway excuse to get used to the controls before you jump into the multiplayer. This is probably one of the best campaigns I've played from Call of Duty.
Interested.
Like, I had so much fun with this one. It goes all over the shop. It does some weird stuff in the second half I did not expect. Which again, like when you get to it, you'll know when I say this, but it feels more like a Remedy game than it does a Activision game.
Oh,
that's all I'm saying. It gets weird. It gets very weird. Okay. But it's really cool what they do and how they do it and all of those kind of elements. And yeah, it is great. I love the story. I love what they're telling. Like it's set in the 90s, so it's kind of got my era down to a T. Like the music, the music is there. Like there's one of the first missions, a car picks you up and it's just blasting 9 Inch Nails out the speakers.
Oh, okay.
And it's just like, okay, I get the vibes. And as the helicopter's going over the land, it's like they're blaring music. It's like, all right, I see what they're doing. It's like, the vibes are immaculate. Let's just put it that way.
Nice.
I really enjoyed it. They've done some really interesting things. Again, like I say, the weirdness at the second half is cool, but they do some really interesting things where I think it kind of toes the line of the problems that a lot of people had with, I think, the Modern Warfare 3 campaign, where it was a bit too open world and like it didn't really have any structure to it, and very short. Well. Yeah, I will say this is relatively short still, but not in Nosebleed. This I did it in like 5 or 6 hours in one sitting, I think it was.
Okay.
And yeah, so the first half of the game is very linear. It's what I expect from a Call of Duty campaign. It's very set piece heavy, linear. Like you go from A to B and just shoot your way through the area. You could do it stealth, or you could go all guns blazing. They do a really good way of letting you balance that as well. So if you want to just go like full stealth through a mission, you can do. Cool. And it doesn't like penalize you if you mess up or anything. It's like you're just like, all right, we're going guns blazing. Let's go.
Yeah.
Or you can, like you say, just start off by just going all guns blazing and just shoot everything with a pulse.
Gotcha.
But then they have some really cool like moments mid game where one is very much like it feels like a kind of Hitman-esque spy thriller kind of thing where you're sneaking around an area and you're kind of having to like play people off each other and do like different set pieces of like finding a piece of evidence and giving it to a person, doing all this kind of stuff. And it's really cool.
Oh, yeah.
And then there's one area which I don't think it's spoiled. I think they've talked about it already, but it's like you go into one like open world-esque area. And when I say open world, it's not massive in like the comparison of like a Warzone map size kind of thing.
Oh, yeah. Of
but
course.
it is pretty big. And it has like different elements on the map that you can go towards and do like a little small mission in that and like take out a SAM site or something like that. And depending on how many of those you do, if you just want to run straight through it and just go straight for the main objectives, you can do. But if you do all of them, it kind of makes the next mission easier.
Gotcha. So it has a knock-on effect of what's actually happening in the world and stuff like that.
Exactly. Yeah. So, which I thought was pretty cool, and they were pretty varied. I say pretty varied. It's pretty much go to this area, kill everything with a pulse, and grab all the items.
Typical Call of Duty. Yeah, which is fine.
I mean, it's COD. It's not a farming sim. Let's be honest here. But no, what they're doing, I think they're trying some like cool elements out there, and I think they work really well. Like, I don't think anything felt out of place. Nothing felt like it overstayed its welcome. Again, like I say, the weird bits are weird, the fun bits are all fun, and yeah, those set pieces are exactly what you expect. Like you see it in the trailer with the guys like flying off on a set of motorbikes, and it's like that moment of just like riding motorbikes and shooting jeeps through the city is just amazing. And yeah, no, there's some really cool set pieces, which is what you want from a Call of Duty campaign, and I think it's a really good one. Again, I'd love to get into spoilers right now, but I'm not gonna. But yeah, like when we do finally have that conversation, I think it's going to be a fun conversation.
So my question for you is, obviously during the trailer, they very much hammed up like all the different ways you can play these missions.
Mm-hmm.
Can you really tell that, or is it very much like an A and B scenario? Like it's either go through this door, go through door A, or go through door B. Is it like that, or is there more than just that?
I wouldn't even say it's that. So it's not a case of like you could go through door A or B. It's like you can go through door A. Door A is your only way to go.
Oh, yeah.
But it's the getting to door A which changes. So like I said, I think the mission that they showed was the like underground bunker area with like the big guy with a minigun and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that mission, you can basically sneak through this entire base like stealth and take everyone out without anyone noticing. And it's really cool to do that. So I did that myself. I'm always a stealth kind of guy when I play these things. Or, like I said earlier, you can literally just run in with an assault rifle and just take everyone out in front of you. That's the kind of balance that they have in it. And then, like I said, with the open world section, it's like how you play that affects the wider missions that you get following that.
Gotcha. Okay, what about like the kill streak stuff they showed? Does that really come into effect during this, or
no?
How does it work? No.
Actually, yeah, no, kind of. So you do get those kill streaks in the game, in the campaign, and yeah, they are quite cool. So there are things where you can call in a helicopter gunner, which is really good for like clearing out those wide open spaces of like tons of people, because you do get some of those moments where like there are a ton of enemies coming at you. You can take your time to kill them all, like just hand to hand, or I say hand to assault rifle. But you could also like just call in your assault gunner and just like mow them down from above. That's really good for like crowd clearance. And then they have a couple where it's like, dropping bombs on people to take out sentry points, which is really cool. So they do come into play, but they're not so much like, it's just one of those things where it's like a cheat code. It's like he's constantly spamming it kind of thing. And they do have cooldowns. So they're not going to be a thing that you're just like, all right, I'll just stay at the back and wait for it to. I mean, you could, I guess, but the cooldown's a bit too long for it to be interesting and fun. And I think, it's just more fun to run in and gun. But so you can use them, and they do work really well within the campaigns, and they make sense.
That's my next question. Is like, do they actually make sense, or does it feel like an add-on of like, hey, we really want to push you to multiplayer, so here, learn these, or is it a case of like, no, it makes sense in the story for it to be happening?
No, it 100% makes sense. I mean, again, not story spoiler, but I will say that as part of one of the missions, like you get the choice to like take out like these missile silos, and doing so unlocks the ability to then have the attack helicopter.
Gotcha.
So then you can
okay, cool, but that affects that, then makes that happen.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like it unlocks that kind of like ability, and it's like it makes sense story wise, and it's really good.
Okay, all right. You sound very high on there. Are we getting a review, or what are we doing? We're gonna do a review discussion. What's the plan?
I mean, I know you're gonna play it.
I'm definitely playing it, and Crash will make Crash play it because it's on Game Pass.
I'm gonna say it is, like I say, it's relatively short. You can, like I say, Golden Path it in about 4 or 5 hours. Okay. They do have some abilities to, they do have some options for replayability. So as I say, there are a couple of missions where there is an objective, and you can do that one objective in a couple of ways.
Got
it. So you can replay those. So I'm being interested to see what options people choose. So I think we'd be better off doing a discussion later on when you guys have played it.
Happen. All right, let's make it happen. Let's jump into what we've been playing other than Call of Duty, shall we? Like I said, I've been at EGX this week, so I played a couple of games. I got to play the Lego Horizon game. While I was there, one of the very few games, and we'll talk about EGX later on in the show, but one of the very few games that was there that wasn't already out. So played that. I played it for a very, very short amount of time. They were very nice. I had a press badge to let me jump the cube. I feel anytime I do that, I feel very bad doing it. So it was a case of, we got some photos, we got what we needed. I played it for about 5 minutes, if that. The demo was 10 minutes, but I only played 5 minutes of it. Looks beautiful. Obviously, I know it's not an Xbox, but still wanted to talk about it. Really shame it's not coming to Xbox. With it coming to Switch, I feel like this would have been like a really good opportunity for PlayStation to have opened that floodgates for this game, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
If you're going to put it on Switch, you might well just put it everywhere. Yeah. But I'm still looking forward to playing it on PC anyway. So
yeah, it's a weird one because I don't know about opening the floodgates, but it'd be a good way to test the waters to see how the Xbox community kind of latches onto that.
Yeah. It would be I get what you're saying.
And it's just like opening up that kind of IP to new players. I know it's not the same game, but it's like, that story again. I mean, is it basically just a retelling in the Lego universe?
I'll be honest with you, I skipped all of the dialogue because I was in a demo and I was like, I'm really excited for this game. I don't want to watch any of the story. I just want to try the gameplay. Plays exactly how you'd expect it to play. Though Jojo did point out to me to shoot arrows, you don't use the triggers, and she was really disappointed in that. You use square, and I said, because it's not first party, second party, correct? Technically, right? So I guess they haven't put the work in for the adaptive triggers and things like that on the PlayStation. So I'll be interested to see if that support comes down the line or not. The other game I got to play was Cattle County. This is imagine like Stardew Valley, pretty much. Imagine that same sort of art style. A lot of fun. Playtonic actually hit me up. The community manager hit me up and was like, yo, we got a booth. We'd love it if you come and check this one out. And I said, what? I love, it's weird because I've got Jojo Stan with me. For those who don't know, Jojo is a member of our community. She is the mod over on our YouTube channel, and she also mods on our Discord and things like that. But she was like, oh, you're not really into those type of games though, are you? And I was like, I love those type of games. I just am not able to stream those type of games because, again, unless you're a cozy streamer specifically, it doesn't really usually do very well in terms of like the way I play games. But
that's got to be the audience, right?
Exactly. But yeah, imagine Stardew Valley, all of these unique characters. You get to name your farm. You get to name the town that everyone lives in. I named the town Ends in my trailer. The demo was like an hour and 20 minutes, and I was like, absolutely not. I'll jump in, I'll play it and check it out. I got to meet all the townspeople. At the very opening, there's a dance off. So you go in and do a dance off, and I did that, and I'm falling in love with all these characters really quickly. I'm like, do you want to dance with me? And they're like, yeah, sure. And I'm like, oh my god, she loves me. But yeah, enjoyed the game. Definitely will check it out when it fully comes out. I don't know if it's coming to Xbox or not, but I'm sure it will eventually. But definitely on Steam and PC for my Steam and PC players, indeed. But yeah, other than that, I don't think there's anything else I have been playing, to be honest with you.
Okay.
There's other bits I played. I got to check out the ROG Ally finally, because that was the EGX, and played Forza Horizon on that. So yeah. Go on.
I was going to say, I was just checking out that the Cattle Country, I think it's called.
Country,
trailer.
sorry, yes, my bad, sorry. Yeah.
Very, big Stardew vibes, but it's also got like kind of like that. What is it? Steamworld Dig. I can't remember which one it is I'm thinking of now.
No.
Spelunky, maybe is the one I'm thinking of.
Spelunky, yeah, okay, I'll give you
that's
Spelunky.
The one I'm thinking of.
Yeah,
it's got that kind of like
with the treasure.
Yeah, with the digging mechanic and that. That was cool.
Yeah.
Like, I'm interested in that. Maybe Terraria is the better like example of that.
Possibly.
Possibly.
Yeah, I definitely think this is going to be a game that I put a lot of time into, to be honest with you. I do really like what I saw of it. And again, shout out to Playtonic for reaching out. And asking me to check that one out. I did actually mention you that. I said maybe if we want to do a review or something on it, maybe we will. We'll see what happens in the future. But other than that, that's all I've been playing. What else have you been playing?
So I'm not going to talk about it too much because spoilers by the time this comes out. Oh, no, in fact, the day after this comes out, I'll have a proper review out. But gotcha. I played and finished the latest Alan Wake DLC.
Ooh, how is it?
It's good. It's pretty good.
Oh,
yeah.
Shocker.
No, it is legitimately great. Like, my main takeaways are, whereas the Night Springs DLC was very much like tongue-in-cheek, kind of like it had a little bit of humor to it.
Yeah.
This goes the opposite direction. This is like full-on survival horror, like to the point where like you really can't fight back at some points. Kind of like survival horror. And yeah, it is. It's more Alan Wake, which is not a bad thing in my eyes.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, no, I'm very high on this one. I think like there is something like Remedy have got something special here.
Yeah.
Not just in Alan Wake, but the entire extended universe that they're building with Control and Firebreak and everything else that's coming. I am 100% on board for whatever they give me now at this point. Like nice. every time they do something new and unique, it adds tenfold to the universe. Like I was a bit worried like with you when it's like, oh, you know, a first person Firebreak like thing in the Control universe. Is that what we want from Remedy? But like right now I'm like everything they touch is gold at this point. Yeah, like
everything other than what game did they put out? They did the story mode for
I don't count that.
What was it called? What was it called?
Nope,
you know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly.
Well.
Yeah, I know that. I know the name and everything.
What it's called? Jesus.
I can tell you.
Project Fire X?
No, it was Crossfire X.
Crossfire X. There we go. That wasn't very good.
Yeah.
That wasn't good. It wasn't good. Trust me, it wasn't good. Take my word for it. Take my word.
I'll tell you what.
I did forget something else I've been playing that I totally forgot. Again, nothing Xbox related this week. I do apologize. I started playing Silent Hill. Silent Hill 2. Finally started Silent Hill 2. Yeah, I don't think people are gonna like my opinion on it so far.
Okay.
Again, I'm only about 4 hours in. It is very, very slow.
Mm-hmm.
Very slow. And again, I guess you gotta remember, and I'm openly admit that I'm a Resident Evil fanboy. I've stayed away from Silent Hill for 32 years, never played the Silent Hill game before. So I'm not going in with that same nostalgia that most people are, right? Things I will say: beautiful game, atmospheric is amazing. The atmosphere is very amazing. Sound design, fantastic. All the things you kind of come to expect from a game like this. It still feels like a blooper game in some ways. And again, I think it might just be a case of I don't love team blooper games. I still don't think the combat is that fun.
Right.
It doesn't feel anywhere near as good as Evil Within or Resident Evil 2, or Resident Evil as a whole. When it comes to its fighting mechanics, it's not terrible in any way. You know what it's like when you play a shooter compared to Call of Duty?
Yeah.
It feels very much like that. It's not that it's bad necessarily, but it's not Call of Duty.
I was gonna say it's good, but it's not great.
That's where I come down on this.
Yeah, and it's very hard to look past good when great exists out there in the world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Again, I don't have that nostalgia for these characters either, which is probably what other people do. Again, going to finish it, me and Haley are playing it through on stream. Again, by no stretch of the imagination is it bad. It just isn't. It hasn't blown my socks off, and I'm absolutely loving it, and I couldn't put it down. I played 4 hours, and I was like, I'm okay. Did get stuck on it for a little bit, which was a shame. But don't want to spoil it. But there's a moment where there's two things you have to go to, and they're identical.
Mm-hmm.
And I kept going to the same one by mistake.
Okay.
And not realizing I needed to go to the other one, which was, don't get me wrong, 100% my fault. What I will say is they have that amazing Metroidvania map styling down perfectly of like, God, I really wish I could get through that door. And I wonder what's on the other side. And then the other side is literally the shortcut.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm such an idiot. Of course it's the shortcut to this way. But it opens, you know what it's like? It opens your mind where you're like, oh, now I can just run through here and it's quicker. And it gives you that little moment of like, yay, I feel amazing. So it definitely has that. So yeah, definitely gonna finish it. But just not done, not over the moon with it yet, but I'm sure it will all come together. I'm sure.
Right. Yeah. I'm gonna say, because the original is quite an old game at this point. Are you aware of the story and what it's all about and stuff at this point? Okay. That's fine. Okay, cool. All right.
Yeah, I don't know. And those not been spoiled for me ever. Haley's got her hypotheses. You want to hear Haley's hypotheses?
Go on.
Again, don't make a face if it's right. Don't make a face.
Wait.
Everyone's dead. She thinks everyone's dead. Everyone will come. Like she keeps saying, like all these characters we keep bumping into. She keeps saying it's like they don't feel like real people. They feel like figments of his imagination.
Okay.
And I'm like, I can see what she's saying. I don't agree, but I can see what she's saying. So I'm interested to see if that comes to fruition. But yeah.
I'm not making a face.
Nothing away.
Not making a face.
Not giving nothing away. Anything else you've been playing before we move on?
So I played 3 whole minutes of it just to test it.
Oh, nice. 3 whole minutes.
3 whole minutes, but I did want to mention it because I was going to stream it yesterday, but I got too busy with the COD campaign.
I know exactly what you're going to say.
TCG Card Shop Simulator.
Baby. Oh, yeah, baby. Talk to me.
Pokemon mod. Works
I know
perfectly.
You put the mod on.
Works
Is
perfectly.
It good, yeah?
I haven't had a chance to play with it properly, but yeah, it works flawlessly. Like it just everything's there. So I'm excited.
You're probably going to talk me through that on Tuesday, if I'm honest. I might just buy it and make it happen.
It's super cheap. It's on early access, isn't it? So
yeah.
It's a couple of steps to get it to work, but once you get it to work, I'm excited. I'm excited to get into it.
Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
Because I know that like R.I.P. Crash. I know that he was like a big fan of it, so he's been playing a lot of it. So I'm excited to like jump in and give my life to it. Although I don't want to, because there's so many good games coming up soon that
That's it, bro. I've literally looked at my list of back catalog, and I'm like, holy sugar, I've got so many games to play.
I haven't started Silent Hill 2 yet. I still haven't touched Space Marine 2. Although Space Marine 2...
We can look at Space Marine together, though. I generally feel like we should just... I feel like we should just one weekend... we should just like, we're sitting down, we're playing Space Marine 2, let's just knock it out, done. Yeah. We can bang through that campaign together pretty easily. And I think we'll have a better time with the game as well. So I played it solo and it didn't feel
didn't quite hit.
If I'm honest.
Yeah, I did hear recently that there was an update which kind of broke it a little bit, so I've been like holding off. So, but it's one of those things like because it was it was kind of broken in a patch. It's one of those things I'm sure they could just roll it back relatively easily. By the time we talk, this goes out, it's probably already fixed. So
probably
who knows?
Fixed. Yeah, true. True. But, what are you doing this weekend coming then?
I have no plans.
Actually, what are you doing? Here's a better one for you.
Go on.
What are you doing on? What day are we at?
We are on Sunday as of speaking.
Yeah, but what day? 27th.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're here. I missed Formula 1. Damn. What are you doing Friday?
Apart from work, nothing.
Let's do it Friday because Haley's away. Haley's at a spa weekend or some spa. Well, not weekend, but some spa day. So we could do it after work Friday if you fancy it.
Yeah, I'll have to pick the game up, but yeah, I can do that. We can
make that happen. Your code. I'll send an email. We'll see
even better.
We'll see what we can do. All right, cool. That sounds good. Maybe check the My Xbox and Me channel on Friday at 7 p.m. 7 p.m. So on 7 p.m. Sounds good. Let's jump into this week's dashboard, shall we? The big piece of news this week is Microsoft's CEO Satya Nadella has decided to get a $30 million. That's $30 million pay rise amid year mass of gaming layoffs. So yeah, in case you missed it, Satya Nadella is getting a pay rise. It's going to be $30 million. According to a proxy fill-in published earlier this week and spotted by NBC News, Nadella's compensation for the fiscal year totaled to $106,183. 2.5 of this was a base salary with a 71 million, there's something like that, was stock awarded. 5.2 million was non-equity incentive plan compensation, and the rest was a mixture of other types of compensation. This one, how does this make you feel? Because I am again, most people know I do sometimes side with companies. I do sometimes, not on purpose. I think it's just the way I've been brought up, and I've been brought up very much in a business mind as an independent business owner myself and things like that. This one doesn't sit well with me, if I'm honest with you. It feels wrong. It feels wrong after laying off thousands of people.
Yeah, I can see that as well. It's a hard pill to swallow, but on playing devil's advocate side, he's the CEO of Microsoft, not just Xbox, and Absolutely. Microsoft as a whole have seen year-on-year profits since he came on board. Like I would say, like they're vying for the most profitable company every year, like behind Apple more often than not. And it's like, yeah, they go from strength to strength, and it's on the back of his leadership. So I understand why he would get this money.
Absolutely.
On the flip side of that, I am very, how can I put this without sounding like a hippie? I am very much not a fan of, like you say, people getting just handout profits like this when it's on the back of thousands of people losing their jobs.
To play devil's advocate there, most of the people that got brought into that company probably didn't help raise those profits. Considering they would have been part of the most of it would have been a part of the Activision deal. Yeah. So they wouldn't have actually helped Xbox make any money, technically, until they came in, right? It's only now with Game Pass games being added and Call of Duty that's come out. Now you're seeing the fruits of the labor of Activision, right? When I say I don't like it, it's just a case of I just think it's bad timing. More is my issue. I think you raise a very good point in terms of it's Microsoft, not Xbox. And again, we only sit here and look at things from the lens of Xbox. We're not looking at fucking Microsoft Office and I don't know, Bing searches or whatever else they're up to over there at Microsoft.
No one's looking at Bing searches. The only thing I'm going to say, the one thing that you search on Bing and it's the only thing you search on Bing is how to install Chrome. That's it.
He said it, not me. But yeah, it's a hard one. It is a hard one.
But the one thing I would say is this isn't on Satya. Like 99% of the time, and I'm sure it's the same as this one. He doesn't decide how much he gets paid. The shareholders decide how much he gets paid. And the shareholders have been happy enough with the way that the business is going that they feel like he deserves this money. And it's hard to argue when you look at the profits and you look at how well Microsoft as a whole are doing, that he doesn't deserve it. Like, in the scheme of rich CEOs getting richer, this is par for the course for the kind of like success he's had in that job.
I mean, you don't become a CEO of his magnitude, and for a company like Microsoft, and not earn big bucks.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So we shouldn't be surprised by this, but it's still a hard. Look, as long as it's not off the back of these people who have just been laid off, I think I feel better about it. But it's still a hard pill to swallow, nonetheless.
Yeah, as a fan of like gaming in general, and like obviously the people that make the games even more so, like it's very hard to look at this without being a bit like biased about it. But at the end of the day, like you say, like the people that lost their jobs, while regrettable, I don't think is the key factor into how Microsoft has made their money. It's a contributing factor for sure, and it's it's not a nice one, but it, without being too harsh about it, that is the state of modern day capitalism. The poor people get poorer while the rich people get richer, and that's just how business works, unfortunately.
Facts.
It could have all been it could have all been okay. We could have had the Y2K thing that wiped out all the money in the world, and we could have just started again, survived on rocks. Delicious, tasty rocks.
You'll know. I'll swap you my grain of rice for your goat. Anyway, next up, Prince of Persia team have disbanded. That is the rumor swirling around right now in the ether. A couple bits of news to add on to this one, so stay in there with me. There was a rumor going around that the Prince of Persia team had been disbanded, but there's a statement that has been issued to Eurogamer that says that they haven't necessarily been disbanded, but they have been shifted onto other other projects that will benefit their expertise, end quote. So yeah, this broke the internet. A lot of people upset by this. This is the team that worked on Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, which for both myself and Despawn absolutely loved this year. Probably still up in my top 3 as of right now. It's in my Game of the Year list, to be honest with you.
It's in my top 10 for sure.
And then so that all of that information came out, and then a huge rumor that has now been confirmed. That Ubisoft it confirms it's exploring a new Rayman game with creator Michael Ansel. I hope I said that correctly. Involved, which has got people a little bit happier. So this statement was sent to Kotaku. A Ubisoft representative said, quote, "We are pleased to confirm Ubisoft Montpellier and Ubisoft Milan have recently started exploration phases on the Rayman brand. The project is still in early stages, and we will share more details later." End quote. So yeah, it's one of those weird ones, right? Where this is where video game journalism and certain things leaking sucks, in my opinion. Because Rayman getting announced would have been an absolute big moment.
Oh yeah,
at a Ubisoft conference. Rayman's back. Oh my god, this is humongous. But obviously, again, I'm speaking as MC Fixer here, not streamer for Ubisoft. So everything I say, take with a pinch of salt, etc., etc. But Ubisoft probably don't want that negative information out there in terms of like they've disbanded a team, which obviously people were going to get upset by, and then we're going to dogpile them on because they probably released the best game that Ubisoft have released this year. I think would be fair.
Feature complete, yeah, I'd say so.
I think that would be a fair statement to say. Yeah, definitely. But then you hear this other news about a new Rayman game, and obviously they worked on Rayman Origins. Legends, thank you, Legends. They worked on Rayman Legends, which is again a game that is beloved by many. So if they disbanded that group, but then put Milan and Montpellier together and then working on a Rayman game, people should surely be excited by that, right?
Yeah and no and kind of. So the way that I've been reading into this, and there's a lot to unpack, more than just what we've said, but basically the team that basically built Rayman Legends is no longer a team. So the core team are no longer together. They were together for obviously the Lost Crown, but they've now been when they've been disbanded. I mean, like that team are no longer working together on a project.
On a singular project within Ubi, yes.
They've now been moved off to separate projects. One thing I would say, I don't think we touched on it here, but they did announce that there is no layoffs as part of this.
No,
which is great.
Everyone's been shifted onto different projects.
Yeah. So they've all been moved around to different projects rather than like losing jobs. I think they said the majority, so I don't know, like maybe some kind of like falling through the cracks, but yeah,
surely
is what it is. But yeah, so it looks like obviously that team is that expertise and of building 2D platformers is no longer all working together to make the best 2D platformers, that Ubisoft have ever made, which is a shame. But and then obviously on the flip side of that, you got the news that now Rayman is coming back. It's about damn time. But yeah, the one thing that I did note on this, which I don't think we covered, but so Mike Ansel is no longer so he was the person who led Rayman. He actually left years ago following certain accusations about improper workplace etiquette. Let's just put it that way.
Interesting. Okay.
So, like I say, double-edged sword. In great, the person behind one of the best Rayman games might be coming back.
Yeah.
But not so great if you were in the Ubisoft offices around that time and were, affected by these accusations. So,
absolutely.
Yeah. So I'm interested. They did. I think the statement didn't say that he's coming back to Ubisoft. They said they're consulting with him, to try and make sure that the kind of lineage is still there. Which, is a kind of, I guess, is like an interesting middle ground. But yeah, I don't know. It's a weird one, but I'm excited to see more Rayman. I really enjoyed Rayman Legends. It's a shame. It is such a shame that this has happened to the team that gave us one of the best games of the year. And I'm upset that we're not going to get a sequel or any more follow-ups to it.
By the way, it's a good thing to add, by the way, which we haven't mentioned. A sequel was pitched and denied.
Mm-hmm.
So it really must have... Again, I think it's so hard, man, because is there another world where this... Again, those type of games are not going to sell crazy amounts of units. Obviously, we know that, right? It's also not going to help when you're only Ubisoft Connect only, which it was for a long time. Obviously, it's now on Steam, thankfully. But it sucks. It sucks. You know what sucks even more though is the fact of I was getting ready to play the DLC over on the Ubi channel, and all of my save data has disappeared.
Ow!
On Steam, I've got no save data, and on Ubisoft Connect, no save data.
Ooh, is it locally stored?
No. So, well, it might be, but I think I must have restarted my computer and not brought it with me or something like that. So if I want to play the DLC for the Lost Crown, I now need to get to a certain point in the game again. Very upsetting.
That's your Christmas side.
No chance. I'm not going to get to it. It's one of those DLCs that I'm just going to have to be like, hey, I'm sure you're amazing, but I'm just not going to get to, which is really unfortunate for me. But is what it is.
Yeah, it's I was just gonna say it's a weird one that like I feel so bad for like this team and this game because like it had everything going against it. I feel like because everyone was super excited that there was going to be a Prince of Persia game coming back. We had teasers that were working on a new 3D title, and then the first official game that comes out is a 2D Metroidvania
which was the issue.
No one really asked for. Yet it is still kind of perfect for the lineage of what that game is.
Absolutely.
That's where it started. And then obviously, like you said earlier, limited availability like console and Kinect. And that was it. And it's just like, we've seen time and time again, because again, not paid by Ubisoft, but I am a moderator over there when you are streaming. So it's like, again, take a smaller grain of salt with what I say, but it's very much like I see in the comments of like, why is it not on Steam kind of thing. Like the community wants their games on Steam.
The amount of people that wanted this day one on Steam, you would have seen at least. Again, I can't put numbers on it because I don't know, but you would
1,246,000. No,
0.01% more sales guaranteed.
There would definitely be more sales. Like, guaranteed. There's no two ways about it. Yeah, like people will like. There are still people that will only use one launcher, and your launcher is Steam. Like, it's got such a stranglehold.
Yeah, but it is what it is.
It's like just put Shortcut on your desktop; they can run all your games from there.
It is what it is.
It is.
Next up. EGX/Comic-Con is upon us. For people who don't know, EGX is a big game conference. No, a big game con that happens. That is also mixed. This is a London-based, England-based convention. I was just at it. I know, Deesman, you've got some questions about the event, so I thought we'd just talk about it a little bit for our UK audience. Sorry if you're not based in the UK, you don't know what this is. Quick one, I don't remember your name. I'm very, 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 very sorry, but I did have a lovely, lovely person stop me in the middle of the con and say how much they love my Xbox and me. And I was absolutely heartwarmed by it. They're like, Pixar! And I was like, yeah. And they're like, I love my Xbox and me. And I was like, holy shit. I literally said to them, I was like, why on earth do you, listen, we're a bunch of idiots.
We appreciate it.
No, I love Xbox podcasts. But yeah, do you know, it was like one of those moments where it's like, okay, yeah, we got to keep going. We have to keep going.
Yeah.
But yeah, EGX Comic-Con has happened, Deesman. What you got for me? What do you want to know?
So number one, did you have fun?
It was very, very busy. So I did this, Deesman.
Go on. What did you do?
I did a tier list board.
Oh my God.
Where I ran around asking people they could move one game.
Okay.
So you could move one game up and or down. So if you wanted to move God of War, say you wanted to move God of War down to D, you had to move something from D up to where you're moving and stuff like that. So yeah, man, we had a really good time running around. Myself and Haley. Haley was on the camerawoman duties for me. It was probably. It's the most attention I've ever had at a con before. People bought in and they were passionate about this board, let me tell you.
Yeah.
So the board is a cheat code. Let me tell you, if we ever want to make content, the board is a cheat code, mate. The board is a cheat code.
Next year.
Absolutely. So I did that, which was awesome. I vlogged a little bit, so I got like a day and come with me to EGX content. Content-wise, I think I did pretty well. So yes, did I have fun? Yes, very tiring, lots of talking. And then I got some new things that I want to show you. I've got some artwork that I want to show you.
Oh, okay. Well, you show me that. I've got something to show you as well. We've not talked about it yet, and it's completely unrelated to EGX or anything else we've done.
So this is my new Tifa photo. That's going to go in my office. That's number one.
That's definitely safe for work. That's fine.
If you're listening to the audio, it's all safe for work. It's all safe for work.
It is.
If you're listening on the audio, you might want to go to around the 40-minute mark to see the pictures of this, the video of this. But here you go. This is my friend Yuffie.
Hi, Yuffie.
Yeah. Yep.
Any more friends?
This is my friend Jill.
Hi, Jill.
They didn't come in these frames, by the way. I ran to IKEA literally straight after the con to get these frames.
Cost. I respect it.
This is my pretty boy Leon.
Oh, such a pretty boy.
Pretty boy.
And last but not least,
Blair.
Hey.
So yeah, I got some new art for the office, which I was really happy about. But yeah, overall, I had a good time. Next question, what you got for me?
So this is the question that I've seen a couple of people commenting on online, and I wanted to like get your opinion as someone who was there, who I kind of trust your opinion. How much of EGX is left after the combination between EGX and Comic-Con?
EGX, I don't think EGX exists anymore. It was unfortunately it was a Comic-Con with a sprinkle of EGX, I have to say, unfortunately. Comic-Con notoriously known for selling way too many tickets for their convention. So in that regard, it helped because you had obviously two sides of the con to go to. One side was very much MCM, one side was very much was EGX. The biggest issue EGX had was there was just no games. You know, like the only new games that were unreleased that were there was Little Nightmares 3, and Lego Horizon. Everything else on the show floor, I can't speak for the indie games. because I'm sure those. I'm talking about like big AAA stuff.
Yeah.
Those were the only 2 big AAA games that were there, and then that were there that you weren't able to play. Ubisoft were there with Star Wars Outlaws, huge queues.
Okay.
I was absolutely. I have to say openly. I found out obviously before the con that they were bringing Outlaws, to obviously in replacement for Shadows, which is understandable. They had to bring something.
Yep.
I actually, and I can say it, I pitched them to bring XDefiant and this host a big tournament and stuff, and they were like, "No, we're bringing Star Wars." And I was like, probably a smarter call, but big queues. I forgot how many people. I think we forget as people in the know that I forget that like there are people out there who they don't know that Star Wars Outlaws is even out.
Yeah.
You know, and the amount of people, again, from speaking to people, the amount of people have been like, "Oh, the game out?" Yeah, and they're like, "Yeah, this is out. Go play it now," sort of thing. Like they had huge queues. So sometimes we have to take ourselves out of the moment and remember there are people out there that are not locked onto IGN or My Xbox and Me or watching Twitch streams or whatever it may be. And they're just enjoying life, and then they happen to see a game that they enjoy, and a lot of people were enjoying it. So yeah, good on them. But yeah, there just wasn't enough there. I think it's hard because it was the same week as Paris Games Week. And I know Sega were there at Paris Games Week. I know Nintendo were at Paris Games Week. So obviously that takes resources away from the EGX stuff. Again, off the record, I heard some things about like showroom floor prices were a little bit outrageous as per usual. So yeah, man, overall, I'm glad that it exists. I'm glad that EGX exists in some way, shape, or form. But yeah, it's kind of dead. It's kind of dead.
Yeah, it's a sad thing, right? Because honestly, do we even have a UK event like this anymore? We got nothing.
Was has gone. Well, Was has gone.
EGX
is gone. Yeah. EGX has now been morphed into what corner. MCM is.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it's like the only real thing we can go to nowadays is jump on a plane and go to Gamescom, which. Yeah. Honestly, as somebody who went last year or this year, I guess, do it like 100%. Like I know. Like if I don't do it through work, like 100%, we need to go. Like there's no.
No, I agree. I agree. I'm going to try and go next year.
Yeah, like if I'm like I say, if I'm not
next year, if exports go big again, they should have gears there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. Like I 100% like if you can get access, like getting hands on with some games early, like something like that. I think the way that it's set out is like, because again, I've done EGX, I've done like WOS, I've done all that. Nothing compares to what they're doing in Gamescom. Like nothing. Like I'm talking like 40-foot, just like designs up against walls
like
and
E3, like E3.
It feels like an E3. It feels like E3.
Yeah,
like it feels like what I imagine E3 would be, and it's like we need something like that in the UK. Like the UK games industry is like one of the best in the world. Like no two ways about it. Like the lineage of what we've produced in the UK is like second to none, but we just don't celebrate it. And I don't know if that's obviously we can get into the wider philosophical scope of like Brexit and all of this and that stuff, but it's just like, yeah, we need to celebrate these things. We need to enjoy these things because it's what brings in new fans. It's like. Celebrate the culture of video games.
Absolutely.
In fact, not just video games, whatever it is, just celebrate the culture. Like, celebrate the things you love. And, like, we just don't do that over here. And it's a shame.
Yeah, like Tottenham. I love them, but they lost. I left the Comic-Con early to go and watch Tottenham today, and we lost. So, don't celebrate them. Celebrate them.
Was that your afternoon engagement?
Yeah, pretty much.
I knew it was. Yeah, spoilers for anyone. We have obviously our private Discord where we talk MXAM stuff, and Fix was very much like, I can't do between 2 and 4 because I've got a thing, and I was like, yeah, it's football. I know.
Well, look, I didn't want to say football, but you would judge me, all right? So I was like, look, let me just tell you it's a thing in this fight. God damn it, you've called me out. Leave me alone. I just have to watch football, okay?
I respect
it's the one thing that I do. It's the one thing that I do. All right, let's jump into Fix and Sack before we get the hell out of here. Remember, you can email in my Xbox and me podcast@gmail.com, or you can hit us up on the Discord. In the Discord should be in the link below of this podcast, and also hit us up on Twitter with the hashtag MXAM or the YouTube comments. If you're watching on YouTube, leave us questions, we will answer them. First one comes from Eldozo and says, with the news about Prince of Persia, my question is simple. It's a simple ask. although may not be a simple answer. Sorry, I read that terribly. Are industry expectations for games too high these days, or do you think that the gaming consumer shout into a void about new IPs and games and a lack of creativity, but when the chips are down, we don't buy them because the majority don't actually want that. They simply want their COD and FIFA, substitute in Madden for our cousins across the water.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a magnitude of things, Eldozo. First of all, boo to you. But yeah, I think it's a direct in Joe. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
I think it's a magnitude of things. I think gamers want new IP and creatively different things, but you have to sell it to them in the right way. And I think that's the thing when it comes to Prince of Persia, like we just said, right? They don't want it to be on Ubi only. They want it to be everywhere, and they want to be able to get it everywhere, and they want to get it at the cheapest price point as well. They don't only want new IP; they want something that makes them feel comfortable as well with spending that type of money if it is a big $70 AAA game as well. So I don't think it's are industry expectations for games too high these days.
So it's a weird one, right? So the profit margins always have to go up, but again, there's always going to be a plateau at some point. The expectations are eventually going to be too much. And I think we're getting to that point, honestly. We see it more often than not that the tagline is always the game didn't meet expectations. And it's like, what expectations have you got at this point?
COVID.
Yeah. It's 100%.
I think that's where we're at right now. I think everyone is still, and I think people forget that we're still off the back of that COVID boom in gaming, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like people have shareholders and people like that have those levels of expectations because they've seen a graph that's been presented to them, which was like bomb, 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 boop, all the way up. Like now I feel like we're seeing a lot of these games now not meeting expectations, in quote. That I think we're going to see things plateau out a little bit more. You'd expect. You're seeing games like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which again, probably my game of the year this year. Probably my game of the year this year. I'm not guaranteed. Not guaranteed. But they Square have come out and been like, yeah, didn't meet expectations. It's like, and what were your expectations? That must be ridiculous. Again, Prince of Persia. What were your expectations? You got to also remember. And again, I know you already know this because you're a well-informed listener, but games cost more to make nowadays. And I'm not talking about just by a little bit. We're talking about ridiculous amounts of money now. Mm-hmm. So there's also that as well. So I think ultimately you're going to see creative things happen. I just think they're going to be smaller budgets, and I think you're going to see shorter video games as a result of that. And I actually welcome it personally. As someone who likes to play lots of different things, I would much rather a 30-hour experience in a game per se, or 20 hours, consider it, compared to a 60 or 70 or 80 hour. But that's just me as someone, and I do understand my privilege. That is someone who get games sent for free, who's paid to talk about video games and things of that nature. Again, for others, that will be a kick in the absolute nuts because, you know, don't they get to buy 3 games a year and they want 100 hours out of their game. So I totally get it.
Yeah, it's just you've got to pick the right games, I guess. But I guess it's a weird. Again, I keep saying it's a weird one, but it is weird that I don't know if it's an expectation thing or again, like the second half of your question about is it consumers shouting for these things and then when they get them they don't want them. I don't think that's the case. I think there is definitely a case of people wanting their existing IPs to kind of evolve a little bit. We saw it last year with like Call of Duty and like its 3-hour campaign, and everyone's like, "This is not good enough. We expect better." And it's like and we are right to expect better because again, we are paying a premium more often than not for these games.
Absolutely.
You want to get that bang for your buck. But I don't think it's a case of like we shout for it and then when we get it we don't buy it because like there's such a wide range of games out there that people will spearhead and champion, and like the indie community for sure is one of the things that I think more people are going to start looking at for those unique experiences that we keep shouting out for. And I 100% like I'm behind that. I think the best games you get are in the indie sphere. The more unique ones, at least, anyway.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. It's a hard one to answer, this one, Aldozo. I think, expectations, like I think we touched on, like COVID definitely set some unnatural expectations that, unfortunately, the way that businesses go, that you kind of have to stick to them. Like, you can't be looked as like losing profits year over year. Like, it always has to be an increase. Like, the numbers always have to go up, even if society and just the situation won't allow that. And yeah, I think that needs to be, in reality, I don't think it's going to happen, but what needs to happen is businesses need to take a long, hard look and be like, right, we need to take a loss at some point one year. Like, profits can go down. Like, you've made year-on-year profits at some point. Like, for society to move forward, we need to be comfortable with this.
Well, and I don't think what you're saying.
I know.
As long as there's profits, we should be happy.
Yeah.
But not enough profits.
Not enough profits, yeah.
Crazy. It's crazy. Is what it is. Next up, Trenchra says, I was interested in checking out the an early access game that was released this week, No More Room in Hell 2. It looked like an interesting multiplayer zombie extraction game. However, when it came out on Tuesday, it was negatively review bombed on Steam. The game released in a state that was far from ready to play. It was a $38 game. The positive reviews were largely in defense of its bug-ridden gameplay as an early access game. What are your thoughts on the state of early access games released these days? Despawn, what are your thoughts on this?
This is an unfortunate outlier to what is generally a good, like, experience in the gaming industry. I love early access games. I feel like if you get in on the ground floor and you can kind of like have those two-way discussions with like the developers on the kind of goals and plans that they've got for their game, I think it's a really good opportunity that you don't really get from many other gaming. So like you wouldn't have that from a Call of Duty.
Medium.
Yeah. Any of a medium. Yeah, you wouldn't get that from a TV show. Like, what did you think of season 1? What would you like us to do for season 2 kind of thing? There's like
the closest you got with that is like a pilot, right? Like, and we don't get to say that. That's like TV studios that get to see a pilot of something and then go, yes, we'll green light that.
But make these changes.
But change that character because we don't like that character. And like I agree with you. It's two things for me. I 100% agree with everything you said, Despawn. It's going with the expectation that the game is always going to be broken, though. Like that's what I do. Like if I'm buying. Again, I bought games like DayZ. I bought games like Rust. I bought games, so many. Like there's such a huge list of games that I've bought in early access when they first came out, and then they've ended up being fantastic experiences with a few bugs here and there. But you have to go in with the expectations of the game is going to be a broken mess, and you have to be okay with that, in my opinion.
So I don't stand by that. I don't think you can say a game should be a broken mess, or you should expect it to be a broken mess. If you are releasing something that's like $40 into the market, you should expect it to be playable.
See, I agree and disagree with you in a sense. I get where you're coming from. My only point of that is you're also buying and supporting the game early because you get it cheaper as well for buying it early. But and that's kind of where I go in with that. That's where my mindset goes of like, I am buying this for a future product.
You're buying the promise.
100%. And then if I happen to enjoy the experience that I'm getting today, that's a bonus for me. That's how I've always looked at those games of like, how much is it going to cost later on? It's going to cost 60, but I can buy it right now, early access for 30. Cool, I'm doing that. And then I happen to jump in and, oh yeah, I really like this actually. I'm going to carry on playing it. That's just how I look at early access games.
No, that's fair. I just think, we're in a... Initially, I would have been totally in agreement with you, but I think after the last, 10 years and the way that, gaming has become such a, you have to make harder and harder choices about what game you're buying. I feel like we're now at a point where if you are releasing something into the market, it needs to at least be playable for you to ask money. There are other avenues for that kind of mindset. I think Kickstarters and things like that would be like, if you want to support the promise of a game, maybe look at Kickstarters. But if you want to ask people to pay for a playable product, it needs to be at a certain level. I think there are definitely conversations. That's fair. Yeah,
I
guess.
disagree. I get. I totally see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do disagree. I think it's a case of what you're purchasing. It's called early access for a reason.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's an access point.
Spoiled, is what I would say.
I do have a really good choice in the games I purchase. Right, yeah.
No, but I just think you've been very spoiled in the games that you happen to have purchased early, and they've been
good.
Look at a game like Hades.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hades is a problem.
But that game shouldn't come out in early access. But it does. That game could be do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that game could come out and then just be like, oh, we're going to keep updating it. And that's what the full release looks like, which is pretty much what they do. But I just think not everyone's going to be able to hit that level of quality. It is a shame, by the way, because I know me and you and Crash were all looking forward to No Room in Hell 2. Looks very, very good.
Like, I really enjoyed the first one. Like I looked up and I have actually played quite a bit of it. It is really fun. I was very excited for this coming to. I think it was Xbox. But so it's a shame that it's come out in such a poor state. Because this is my problem now as well, is when you don't release in a not a 1.0 version, but like a feature complete version, your first impression is ruined.
No, but I've had that with games. DayZ back in the day was doggy doo-doo. I hated DayZ back in the day. You look at that game now, Rust. Rust was always a pile of crap for a long, long time. I think it's hard because I played games like all these, Story Simulator and all this bull crap, and they all come out in early access, and they're terrible. Yeah, they're terrible games, but I love those type of games, so I have fun with them. But yeah, I get you. I do get you. I don't think I think we just see this one differently. But we can agree to disagree.
Yeah, I think the problem with this one is the game that they were trying to sell is very much like a multiplayer-focused extraction shooter, and when those core functions are just straight up broken, you can't even try that. It just, I don't know. It kind of, as we see with the Steam reviews, it kind of, sets people in a certain way.
Yeah. We'll see what happens in the future with that game. Hopefully it gets fixed. I'm looking forward to it.
So,
last but not least, Origin Cookie Man, of course, fan favorite, has this to say: with Forge Falcons producing a new game type using Halo Infinite's Forge tools, first with Survival the Undead, their take on the Call of Duty Zombies mode, which has now permanently entered matchmaking, and Hell Jumpers, their take on Helldivers style mode, now releasing into early access, are Forge Falcons Halo Infinite's most important studio.
Not really. Like, probably their most important community edition, but not the most important. Like, Halo Studios are the most important Infinite studio.
Oh yeah, that's what they're called now, aren't they?
Yeah, I was gonna say like 343, but it's like it's not. They're not. They're dead. They died.
Well done. I'm proud of you.
I did it. I nailed it.
No, I'm with D Swell. No, they're not. Yeah. I think for the. So let me read the question again. What does the specific wording is? It they Halo Infinite's most important studio or Halo's most important?
Halo Infinite's.
Yes, they are Halo Infinite's most important studio. I'm with you. Okay. Because I think that the Halo team have now moved on to probably work on other things, and this group of people who are working on these Forge modes will probably keep that game going and alive for a lot longer than what the Halo team would have done.
You know what?
Do you get what I mean? Yeah. Like, as that team moves on to the next whatever they're doing for Halo, this team will keep making Forge content, which is going to feed the Halo Infinite, which is the game we're talking about specifically. They're going to keep feeding that community while there is the Halo team working on the other stuff. So yeah, I think it's very much like a Media Molecule, right? Like you find the best person who makes community maps on like a little big planet or something like that, right? They become the most important thing to that game, not Media Molecule.
Yeah. No, you're right. And I guess I was going to say, like, I redact my statement because I very much am of the belief that it is the community that carries the game, not the game that carries the community. And like I say, it's the community coming together and building these things. And it keeps the game alive. Then Yeah, I guess the question is like, how many people are downloading their maps and stuff and testing it, and like
they promoted it a lot though. I will say, like even Xbox. This is the point. Xbox are getting behind it. Halo are obviously getting behind it. So as long as they're getting that support, then I think they are the most important. Yeah. Look at the fun we had on that game. We had way more fun playing the Duck Hunt mode than we did playing multiplayer.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Always.
So yeah. So for me, it's yes, I'm in agreement with you, Origin Cooking Man, for the first time, because I don't think it happens often.
Yeah, you know what? 2 for 2. I also agree.
2 for 2. Wow. Let's plug, and get ourselves out of here. Despawn, we got to plug this week.
I'm going to plug the YouTube. There will be a review up by the time you probably listen to this for the Alan Wake DLC. Go check it out. And also go check out the previous DLC review. I want to try and get back into reviews again. Like, work has been very busy, so I've been trying to keep on top of that. But I'm finally getting to a nice position where we can actually start doing more stuff again. So yeah. Also, go check out our playthrough of Dark Hours on there. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the review. It was awesome. Massive shout out to Guillotine.
I'll openly admit that I haven't been able to watch the actual edit yet. Just because I've been so bloody, I know, I'm crazy. But yeah, we had a really good time checking out that. So that was a good time. Crash I did see one clip of Crash screaming, which was absolutely making me giggle. So yeah, I'm very, very happy that we got to check that out. We forgot to talk about that actually, because we both played that.
Yeah, massive shout out to Guillotine for providing the codes. Yeah,
absolutely.
Also, there may or may not be another video coming in the future. Who knows if I had more footage.
You can find me everywhere at MCFix. A big push on TikTok right now for me. So if you're not following me over on TikTok, please do consider so. TikTok and Instagram. Just to put that out there for people. Those are the 2 platforms that we're going to be pushing. A lot of TikTok content coming from mcmcomiccom/EGX. So please do consider checking that out. Again, a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of energy is going into this. So please do. Other than that, Twitch as well. But yeah, that is it from me. That is it from Mr. Despawn here. Until next time, we will love you, leave you, and see you all later. Still not miss the week, because that's what we do. Secret word is
Satsuma.
Satsuma. Goodbye.